Okay, I'm finally going to show you what I think about real honey mead.
But first, I sloshed in some of the water so I could get the honey all mixed in. Most people would warm the honey up before stirring it in to make it a lot easier, but like my doctor told me, I am not like most people. This is wildflower raw honey from Latvia. It was the best value for money honey I could find. Now I've done my exercise for the day, I pour most of the honey in, and turns out I had some issues with mixing the rest of it in, so I just poured some more water in and mixed the rest in. Now we're done with that, in goes the lemon, orange, and raisins. Top that up with a bit of water. Throw in some yeast. And then give it a good shake. Always check the gravity to know our starting line. Then we just need our airlock and some water. About 3.5 weeks later it is ready to take out of primary. Normally it would only take 2 weeks, depending on the temperature. I did this in September and made no attempt at warming it up, so the finishing gravity was 1.007, so it went to a nice 8.2% ABV. I did try to back sweeten it with more of the honey, but you'll find out how that went in just a minute.
So one bit of an issue that I had with this, which is a major issue, was in the bottling stage. I made a bit of an oopsie poopsie and didn't stir it before I finally bottled it. So I got a load of this loveliness. Don't be too scared. It's just the honey that hasn't mixed in because it all settled to the bottom. I then bottled it and then saw this at the bottom and was like, oh. And I had already put the corks in by the time I noticed, so I wasn't going to uncork them all. Could not be bothered with that. So we're going to see how this goes. Yeah. Impressive cork job, eh? Oh, good. I'm still not too well versed in taking a cork out of a bottle. We'll see. Right, stays up. That's what it is. Okay, before I bust through the cork at the bottom, I'm going to try and pull this out. See if I can just get it out because I have demolished this cork. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, so I've had this. We're good. So I've had this in the fridge for quite a while, but I did not initially keep it in the fridge. It looks like the... Oh, God, how delicious does that look, eh? I didn't initially keep them in the fridge, but then I found out they were still fermenting from the back sweetened honey. So I put them in the fridge. That will cold crash it and then it will stop fermenting because it's below the yeast's temperature. But clearly this one had still fermented a little bit. So this is my last bottle of it now. I'm just going to use it because I don't want to bother keeping it with all that residual stuff at the bottom. So the secret to carbonation is to do it by accident. I don't think I've carbonated anything this well. And this was not supposed to be carbonated, so you see the point. One of the bottles did actually, the cork popped out of the top. Luckily the bottle did not smash, so we're good. It did spill all over the floor though, so I did have to wipe that up. It does smell good. It is wild just how different the real honey is compared to shop-bought honey. After smelling this honey, I found out that I've actually never had real honey before, so that was quite exciting. This does look really good. To be fair, once you got it in the glass, I don't know how if you'd be able to sieve that out, but in the glass, yeah, people would pay money for that, I'm sure. But does it taste good? That's the most important thing. Oh yeah. Actually, I think I did compare this to the Bullet for My Valentine mead. Very bubbly. I'm not a fan of bubbly mead, to be honest. Carbonated mead. I just don't get the hype around that. I would say it definitely is too carbonated. I'm not sure how carbonated mead usually is, but this definitely has more of a beery sort of feel to it. From that carbonation. There's me saying that everything tastes like beer. And I think I also did forget to put any tea in this, so there's no tannins. So it's very watery. That definitely does let it down a bit. However, if I went to somebody's house and they give me a glass of this, and then they say they made it, I would be impressed. So there you go. It could definitely do with being sweeter for my taste. I do like a sweet beverage though. Is buying real honey worth it? 1,000,000%. I would say yes. I would say buy runny honey though, because then you wouldn't run into this sort of issue. And as you can see, it's already getting a lot darker now compared to how light this is. And it's not even fully mixed in. It's still mostly at the bottom. Whoop, don't spill it all over the floor. So yes, is real honey worth it? Absolutely. I know you can buy the cheap stuff in Lidl for so much cheaper. And if you do just care about how cheap it is, then buy that. But if you prefer to have the higher quality, I would 1,000,000% go for some real honey. Just make sure it's runny honey, because you might run into this issue unless you're careful. I was just not careful, so I'm still going to drink it because drink. Brilliant. Wow. I'm not going to drink the whole bottle like I normally would because I just drank a whole bottle of cider. But